Appreciate you guys being here. Proud of the way our team showed up today. I thought we played with a lot more grit and toughness and togetherness than we had in the previous game. And, we just, you show up like that, you got a chance to play with anybody. Very good Washington team, obviously. Thought we had our chances, missed a couple key box outs really down the stretch. And they hit a couple key threes on us. And so, man, it was a game of inches, battle back and forth. I thought, we had some really good individual performances, but more importantly, I thought we played really good team basketball and had that mindset of next play mentality. This one certainly stings, as they all do, but, if it's about moving the needle, and I thought we did that today with the way we showed up against a really good Washington team.
Mark?
For Gift and Destiny, Coach talked about kind of the team aspect of your team's play. I think it kind of showed on the defensive end, especially maybe late in that third quarter when you guys were coming back. Can you talk about that part of the game and what do you think kind of fueled the defensive effort? You guys created a lot of turnovers, a lot of things that way. But what do you guys think went into that stretch defensively?
I mean, I think we're in the back half of the season right now. We either going for it or we playing it safe, and there is no playing it safe. So I feel like we made a lot more grittier plays and just really try to play as hard as we could and get as many tips, deflections, steals, and talk to each other as much as we could while we were out there. And I think that it was definitely helping that defensive energy that we had, especially in that third quarter.
Yeah. Sean?
Could you two just speak to just kind of what was difficult about guarding Howell and or their Howell, I should say, and kind of it seemed like anytime you kind of gave her any sort of like space, she was gonna pull up from three and obviously hit those two big ones late.
I mean, we were like off man zone. I don't think she scored on me, but she's definitely a good player. She hit a lot of tough shots for them, especially those two key threes in OT. She's a hooper, though. Yeah, for sure.
Mark?
Gift, you've had some good games today. Today it looked like you were really feeling it. Can you just tell us a little bit about, what felt good to you out there and, what do you think? Why do you think you were having the success you had?
I didn't like the way I showed up at the last game. I thought I didn't play with fun. And I didn't play with poise. So I used that to attack today's game. I said I was going to play with poise and patience and at the same time have fun. And that is exactly what I did today. Just let the game come to me and, just think about the next play instead of getting in my head and just thinking about what I did instead of going back sprinting for defense. So, yeah.
Sean?
Destiny, in that game against Indiana midweek, you were held scoreless in that first half. Just what was key for you getting going early on? Finished with 15, shot 6 of 7 in that opening 20 minutes, and were perfect from three. Just how key was it for you in your mind to kind of get going early after that stretch the previous game?
I feel like that's the difference is I wasn't worried about getting going early. I think my shots today were a lot more in rhythm than how I started that Indiana game, and me and Coach were in film, and they kind of broke down and showed me the shot selections that I had in the Indiana game to start. And it's not that they were bad shots, but to start out the game like that and try and just get a feel for the game and, just get in your rhythm, that's something that, I want to focus on moving forward. And I think today I was a lot more patient and just let the game, come to me. And I think good things happen when I do that. So it's definitely how I'm going to attack every game from here on out.
Any other questions for student athletes, Sean?
You obviously got fouled on that three and then hit the free throw to go ahead. Did you feel like there could have been a couple other calls like that earlier in the game? Just from my view, it looked like they were closing out pretty tight on a couple of three-pointers, especially against you guys.
I mean, there's nothing that we could really do about, the foul calls. It's good to get some on your home floor especially, but at the end of the day, we still got to play tough and play gritty and be able to play through that because especially when, we go to Illinois and we go down to Cali, like we can't expect those calls. So I think it's also an area that we can grow in with being able to play in that emotional state and just keep attacking the game as we have to.
Carl?
For either of you, what was different about the effort today versus Wednesday, and how do you kind of digest this one and move forward, knowing that you guys had them on the ropes, but obviously come up a little bit short?
Coach P always says that it's a game of inches. We just got to play together. More connectivity. I think today we played together. We connected more together more than the last game, and we showed up for today's game.
Any other questions for the student athletes? You two are good to go.
Wow, you're so straight. Thank you.
We'll open the floor up to questions for Coach P. Mark?
Coach, I want to get your thoughts. I think I was trying to think back to the specific point. I think there was late in regulation, one of the shots you had, Destiny had missed a three late in the game. There was you guys called a timeout. It was one of your final possessions. I guess I just want to kind of get your thoughts on, based off what you wanted from your timeouts. Were those the kind of opportunities you wanted from your offense in those final few possessions of regulation?
No, I think Washington, they're a really, really, really good defensive team. And you look at overall their stats and what they're holding teams to. They're just, high IQ young ladies that play really, really well together. They blew up some of our action, and so I think you absolutely have to give credit to them. Great players make plays, and we had our share of opportunities to create some turnovers for them, and they had some opportunities to make shots hard on us. And so I thought they did a really good job getting stops when they needed to, and with their rotations defensively.
Sean?
How pleased were you with your guys' defensive effort? If you could elaborate a little bit more. I know you guys forced 15 steals. I think in that first half, every single turnover that they had was a steal by you guys. Just how pleased were you with that? Just the activity you guys were able to create defensively. I think it sagged a couple of times early, but did really well just being physical and creating turnovers.
Yeah, satisfied, but I want more. I felt like there's a certain way you got to approach the game, and that the non-negotiable and the standard should be hard, gritty, tough, connected. We're still growing, but I thought you saw some really good stretches of what we did tonight defensively. Couple opportunities to get some stops late, or just get one defensive rebound, late that, for the most part, I thought it was really good. But we definitely had possessions that you'd like to go back. But I'm sure Washington would say the same thing. The thing I'm most proud of, again, I just thought we were really well connected. We tried to make adjustments on the fly. They were I think on point with what we were trying to get done, switching up from our man to our zone, and a lot of really good things for sure.
Carl?
Coach Gift had that run early in the fourth quarter where it seemed like she was playing really aggressive and able to score quite a bit. How have you seen her offensive game develop to the point where she feels comfortable getting the rock and going to a post move or whatever and being able to score the way she did today?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just working on the consistency for her. I think, you see flashes and stretches and games like tonight where she plays with great pace, great poise, doesn't force the action, and in other games where she gets rushed a little bit, kind of gets, off her body balance that we need her to go to the rim with. But, man, I wish we had her for 4 years. She's just got a huge upside, and, she continues to grow and learn, and I think she's kind of starting to figure out that balance that she needs to play with, and not rushing things around the rim. But certainly had a big game for us tonight. Really happy for her and proud of her.
Mark?
Lacey still didn't have the biggest game statistically, but it seems like, especially these last few games when Brianna's been out, that she's kind of, been able to fill some of, a little larger role for you. And I guess I'm just kind of curious what stands out to you about what she's been able to give you today and maybe even these last couple games.
Yeah, Lacey's a winner. She's played on, came from a really good program that was a Final Four team. I think she understands winning plays. I don't think she's consumed whatsoever with who gets the credit or who gets the points or who gets the shot, but what can she do to impact the game on the offensive end, on the defensive end. There's a lot of things that Lacey does that just doesn't show up in a box score. But it's, I think she's played really, really well for us and, had some big minutes for us and extended responsibility right now, like you said, with Bree. But I think she's handled it well. I think she's done a really good job when she's been in that backup point guard position, a position she hasn't played for a while. So a little bit of everything. I just think she's a winner. She makes winning plays and she's gritty, hard-nosed, tough young lady.
Sean?
That third quarter, they took a double-digit lead twice, and the second time was right out of that media timeout. And it was off a 3 from Briggs. Then you guys answered immediately with a 3 from Lacey, and then I think your final 8 points on that run were all off turnovers. Just how pleased were you with the immediate response? Like it wasn't like it was only 2 double-digit leads all game, but to be able to really respond the way that you guys did that close of the third quarter, just what's key to trying to kind of grab hold of that type of energy and a momentum swing like that and just pushing it forward the rest of the regular season?
Yeah, we talked about this in the locker room, just their grittiness, their resiliency. I think resiliency is a sign of a really strong culture in that locker room where they're going to battle for each other and with each other. And, anytime I came to a huddle or even any dead ball situation, they were very solution oriented, trying to figure out solutions on what the next best thing is that we have to do. And, we said this definitely is not a game. No, any game is not the game, especially this game, that we, emotionally get hijacked and frustrated with the last play. And so I thought they really did a good job with their next play speed. You get down 10 against a top 25 team in the country, and how do you respond in those moments? And, that's hard to do, but they did an outstanding job of it today. And again, just, helping them see that, what that looks like, what that feels like, and trying to bottle it and keep moving that needle forward.